Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are talking with Robin Shimizu and friends. And I got stuff dinging. Let me stop that. Sorry, Robin. With Robin Shimizu and friends. You know, Robin's always here on Thursdays to help us guard our health because you can't keep your wealth if you don't guard your health. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Robin. How are you doing, Robin?
I'm doing great. And how are you doing from Pennsylvania?
All is well. All is well. I'm really enjoying the different foliage. You know, it's very green here in Pennsylvania.
Uh-huh.
And because it's September, the leaves are actually starting to turn. So, you know,
Oh,
we don't have as much of that going on in California right now.
hmm.
It is nice to see a lot of foliage
Well,
and
I'm just
made
amazed
in
that
rain.
you're streaming or you're doing Biz Chicks from Pennsylvania, not even what do they call no glitch at all in the programming, is there? Good
Well,
for you. Good
to
for
God
us.
be this is a good thing. To God be the glory. He has given me a good signal here in Pennsylvania, especially since we're sort of outside of the city, in the same area as we are in California. We're in the capital. I'm in the capital here in
Okay,
Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg area. So
cool.
there you go.
Well,
So what do you have?
I don't have a habit today, healthy habit today to share, but I do want to share with us today our guest, Jill Weston, who is a yoga nidra instructor, and she teaches us all about meditation and breathing and yoga nidra, and basically how to, as Biz Chicks coined it, I think it was Biz Chick coined it, calm your chaos. Was that a Biz
Mhm.
Chick coin? I don't remember if that was
Yes,
in,
it is.
and I think it's so perfect for Jill. Anyway, Jill owns a yoga studio called Breathing Space in Elk Grove, California, and she has in-person yoga classes, and she does online, and she's worldwide now because she's also on a format that you can access her from anywhere in the world. Anyway, let's bring Jill on and welcome her to the show. I love having Jill join us.
Good morning, Miss Jill.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Jill.
All is well.
And yes, BizChick did coin that phrase for me, calm your chaos.
I just love that
Yes.
it's very perfect for you, Jill.
And it's easy to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody deserves to be able to calm their chaos. Sometimes chaos is good because it does make us think and activate our creativity, but we don't want to be in chaos all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, we
But
do not. So, Jill, what do you have for us today?
today we're going to talk in just about 12 minutes, 10 minutes or so about how to self-soothe the body and how that's self-care. So sometimes we think of self-care as a massage, maybe going on away on a retreat.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think during COVID, there's been a lot of discussion about, self-care really is not selfish. Sometimes I think the old way of thinking was, self-care is for someone else. It's too
Mm-hmm.
expensive. I don't have time. I'm not going to take away from my business budget. If I have children that I'm raising or nieces or nephews, I don't have time for self-care. Or, okay, self-care is finally at 10 o'clock at night when everyone else is taken care of, maybe I can get a hot bath. And so
Uh-huh.
today I want to, it's not necessarily a trend, but that recognition that self-care is bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care can almost be 24 hours a day, and self-care is affordable, and then it's
Um,
very, very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that it can be 24 hours a day.
Yes. And you might
That's
go, well, wait a minute,
interesting.
but if I'm sleeping, isn't that
Mhm.
self-care? So I'm going to cover a couple different sensory things today. We all have five senses, or most of us have our five senses. I'm going to cover some ways that it really can be 24 hours a day, with
Okay.
the idea that your brain takes in a lot of information. So
Mhm.
as all of you are out there watching live on the replay, even as you look at all three of our pictures, your brain is going, oh, well, Terry has a picture behind her, and Robin has glasses on. What's that bit of red in Robin's picture? Like, Jill has two different colors behind her. We're also
Mhm.
hearing noises, and our brain has to process all of that. Again, that's a good thing. I hope your brain is processing, but we don't realize how much information we take in. So it's remembering that our brain takes in sensory information,
Uh-huh.
then your mind and body's going to act on that. And if it's
Ooh.
acting on too many unimportant things, it's where stress comes in. It's where
Mm.
frustration comes in. Because maybe even right now I'm talking, giving some information that's helpful, and someone zoomed in on, wow, those are really nice earrings that Terry has on. If the brain all of a sudden is focusing just on your earrings and that captivates the brain and you don't really realize it, 10 minutes,
Uh-huh.
wait, why is Jill done presenting? What was she talking about? What happened? So
Mm-hmm.
that's a lighthearted way that the brain sometimes distracts. And then there's trauma, there's tragedy, there's difficulties, and sometimes the brain also, I'm going to use the word, gets stuck in that. So
Mm-hmm.
grief is normal, mourning is normal. There's that normal reaction, but sometimes the brain stays on replay and we can't find our way out of that. So today
Oh.
we're going to talk about how do you take care of your body in a sensory way to help get your mind back on track to where you want it. So where do you want your mind to be, and how do you calm your chaos and all that?
Oh,
And
wow.
good morning to Maureen. Maureen also teaches and practices a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're
Good
going to
morning,
talk about
ladies.
regulating your nervous system. And
Okay.
talk about
Oh.
it in kind of the way the five different senses, and then I'll have an activity towards the end. The first thing that I'm going to show you about self-soothing is smells. So using your nose, smells trigger memories. And without being too scientific, smells, you have olfactory molecules that basically flow information to the same
Mm-hmm.
part of your brain where memories are stored. So, Terry, you mentioned your brothers. As you walk into your brother's house, there may be some familiar smells that are there
Mm-hmm.
that trigger some emotions, good or bad. So the easiest, not one of the easier ways and traditional ways for smell is an essential oil.
Ah.
Now, there's expensive oils and less expensive. I would say it's not too important initially, because I'm not going to suggest that you ingest these. It's just the idea that this is a pretty big bottle. You can get little tiny bottles, take the top off, smell it, and put it away.
Oh.
That quick. You can put a drop if you want to, if you're not allergic, on your wrist, anywhere in your body. Sometimes I put it underneath my nose. You can put a drop on your car seat. You can put a drop on your pillow. So anywhere it's very mobile,
Mm-hmm.
anytime that you, let's say that you're frustrated, frustrated, for example, working on a project, orange, peppermint is really good for kind of waking up the system. Rosemary can be good for memory.
Oh,
Mm.
So really, though, the main thing, because people get sometimes bogged down in, well, what brand and how much money, and oh my gosh, did she say it? Find a smell that you like and use it.
Uh-huh.
Then realize you might have certain smells. I think I said sound. Find a smell that you like and use it. Find an oil that you like and use it. And then realize that sometimes when you're especially frustrated, there may be a certain smell you really like. When you are off track, when you want to sleep, maybe there's a certain smell or an oil that you take to. A more non-traditional smell, so I have a spice here, which is cinnamon. I like the taste of cinnamon. It's warming to the body.
Uh-huh.
Go in your spice cabinet gently. Don't stick it right underneath your nose because you're going to inhale it. and gently smell and just go, what does that remind me of? What does that say or do for my body? So it can be a spice, it can be an oil. I have a lip balm that someone gave me, and there's lavender in it. And so when I put on lip balm, I'm also taking in that smell, and it's giving me information.
Okay.
You can do it when you're waking up. You can do it when you're getting ready to sleep. You can do it on a trip. Just find something, again, that changes your body, that maybe interrupts that thinking pattern a little bit.
You know what? That probably would have been very helpful to me when I was traveling, because I had a lot of unknowns during the course of the journey, and it was distracting.
Yeah. And smells can be, again, go into your memory bank and a reminder that, okay, there's a lot going on. This is unfamiliar, but this sounds familiar, and it tells your brain, oh, you know what? I recognize that somewhere. And then smells can also be stimulating or even a little startling if that's what you want, if you need to break out of some monotony. But yeah, very mobile, can be very affordable.
Yes.
Smells can simply be too, let's say that you have pine trees. I have great pine trees in my backyard, courtesy of my neighbor. So sometimes I open my door and I'm smelling the pine trees. Other times I might be smelling my neighbor's gas grill, and I might want to shut the door. But realizing, again, as we walk around, if you notice that you're agitated, if you notice that you're happy, stand still for a minute and go, what is going on around me? What am I smelling? What am I touching? What am I hearing that's creating some of that? Another sense that is a little non-traditional that I'll talk about is texture. So I have a thing where almost always my clothing, I want it soft. I want it to feel good. Sometimes my sheets, I have a thing about sheets, and I'm sorry, I don't spend $500 on sheets, but I will get the most inexpensive, feel good sheets, because that's what I'm touching when I go to bed. It's what I'm touching during the night. It's what my head is laying on a pillow. And sometimes when I travel, I will take my own sheets and pillow because I like the feel of them. So
can I tell you a story about this, Jill? That I find this so fascinating. I was at Costco the other day, and they had these big furry pillows for $13. They're that kind of a nap about this long, softer than heck, just beautiful. And I bought 2 of them, and I put one on my mom on her chair here, so she can feel it. And then I have another one on her other side, and she just sits there and she just
perfect
strokes these pillows, and she's like, oh, she's so happy just stroking those pillows. And it's just perfect for this, Jill, because when I held it to myself, I thought, oh, this is nice and cozy. My mom will like this. But I had no idea. It's like petting a little animal or something. She just loves it.
Yeah. So Robin, for those of you in the audience, I caught what Robin said is I had no idea. That's the whole point of this is when you can pay attention, your body does some things instinctively. So even if I had not done the show and talked about texture, Robin did what I'm going to call the right thing. She held the pillow and she realized even in a split second, wow, that felt good. If we brought her mom in and interviewed and said, okay, Robin's mom, like, what's making you feel good today? She might be rubbing those pillows and she's like, oh, I don't know what feels good. But instinctively, her hands are feeling that texture and it's telling her brain something. So that's perfect. I just realized one thing I forgot too on smells is also tea or coffee can be. There's so many teas and coffees that are infused with good smells. You might say, well, I don't have time in the morning to stop for tea or coffee. Take out the tea bag, open the bag, and smell it. Drop this in your bag, in your backpack, in your purse. Just take it out and smell it. So that's another one.
You should show that tea, and because that one tea that you just showed is just awesome in terms of, and it's very inexpensive. I think, do we buy it at Trader Joe's? I can't remember where we buy it.
Bel Air or Rayleigh's, probably online. So it's Good Earth brand, and it comes in non-caffeinated and caffeinated. And I make it hot and cold. But yes, at the retreat, I shared this with you guys.
Yeah.
But again, you don't even have to drink it. So if you're like, I don't have a coffee cup, take it out, smell it, put it underneath your pillow. So
nice.
Smell, texture, find out again what textures feel good to you. Partly when little kids drag around their little nappy blanket or their blankie or their blankie, some of it is the attachment to the cloth itself, but you will notice kids and also many times people who have dementia, very tactile, something that you can feel. The next one is sounds. So for example, and I'll test our theory about being able to hear the sound. On the Insight Timer app, you can choose bells that make different sounds. Find a sound that might be soothing or that wakes you up. So that's a deeper sounding bell. And another way that I also use it is to have people pay attention. There's a sound that I don't find that interesting, but it's a wooden block. Maybe that gets your attention. It's the finding something that works for you. That's a higher pitch, not my favorite. So again, this can be right on your phone. You don't have to go out and buy anything. The other thing with sounds is start to take notice if things are too loud or too quiet. So you might want to turn your TV on to catch the news or watch a certain program. Start realizing, do you need to turn the volume down or do you need to turn the volume up? Commercials are always a little bit louder. I know a lot of people will mute the commercials or they DVR and fast forward, but realize almost kind of like sound pollution. And some people I know even have the radio on, the TV's on, the kids are talking in the background, there's Zoom going on. If that works for you, fine. I did, and I don't really remember why I did it. It wasn't a New Year's resolution. I think I went, it was 50 some days. I did not turn my car on in the radio, even during a long trip. I did not have my TV on and I did not listen to music, and I like music. I wanted to see what it felt like to just have less auditory sound stimulation. So again, see what sounds are really of interest. Nature sounds, you can say, I don't have time to go for a walk. I can't be out in the country. I can't get to the beach or a forest. Technology, you can find an app, you can YouTube, you can download sounds that are rain, birds chirping, kids laughing, any sounds that feel good to you. But a main thing, again, is turn that volume down or up. Two more pieces, and then we're going to do an activity. The next one is visual. So I call it kind of a look or don't look. So are you looking at things that are pleasant? Do you have a great view when you first wake up, when you're working? If not, see about changing that view. Sometimes for kids, or even for me as a learner, I don't need to look at a whole lot of things. And so sometimes I'll take out some of the stimulation. One way that you can do it is an eye mask. So this is a little bag that someone made for me. It has a cover that you can take off and wash. You can put a drop of an essential oil on there, put a tea bag inside, lay down and put it over your eyes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The other piece would be is if you look around your workspace, for example, and there's a lot of stuff going on, maybe draw a curtain around it. Put a, you can get three trifolds, put a screen up, a piece of paper. Just see what you're visually looking at that maybe is not appealing and brings up memories and tells your brain something that you really don't want to tell your brain. So imagine, for example, raise your hand, how many of us leave clothes in the dryer for a while? Or do you take it out and put it on the couch or the middle of the floor? Now, it might prompt you to fold the laundry, but more than likely, you're going to walk past it every time and go, oh, that looks messy. Don't look at your mess. Hide your mess away if it is messing with your brain. Hide your mess away if it's messing with your brain.
So we can trick our brains.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
And visually, maybe I love flowers, for example. Maybe you have colorful flowers. Maybe you're a minimalist and you don't want to look at anything. Just be aware of what you're looking at. And then the last one is touch, a little different from texture in that we're going to do some self-touch, self-compassion. But I even have a favorite rock that I found, and it's in the shape of a heart, which is partly why I like it. But it's very smooth. And sometimes it just feels good for me to rub the stone. The other thing that I've done in healing and calming sessions is I'll heat these up in a crock pot that I don't use for food. So I put a little water on the bottom, put 5 or 6 stones in it, heat it up, and it feels really good on my body. So I've
Oh,
done
you know what?
sessions. Yeah, kind of like massage therapists do.
Yeah, I have a small crock pot that I don't even use. It came with the big one.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Water so you don't burn up the burner, and then be careful because the stones will get hot. But take them out to the side, and then you can lay down and put them in your palm, put them wherever you want on your body. And again, this is a little bit of touch. But even just finding something smooth. Again, some kids and people with anxiety, it's like a fidget spinner.
Yes.
But finding a texture, finding some touch that you like, or using the stone on your body. And Robin, you had an aha or a comment?
Oh, no, I'm doing that for my mom. That sounds awesome.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last one, because I know we're almost over on time, and when we get done, I'll ask Terry. I can't see the comments on Facebook, but we'll see if there's any questions. And then the very last one is very soothing, and it's called a compassion hold. This was developed by a couple different people. Terry's going to put the graphic up, and then I'll walk you through. Okay.
I'm going to add that.
I first saw this, and you can see the credits there. It was a woman named Zabi Yamasaki, and she's a registered yoga teacher, works with trauma, and her Instagram is Transcending Trauma with Yoga, and then someone did the graphics for this. So this also is a great way to self-soothe yourself. I don't think it looks too strange, but again, if you're concerned, what might people think of me? Just do this somewhere where people don't see you. Or you can even just do this and no one really notices what you're doing. I tell people it can look like you're touching.
That's true.
And you're just doing this. You could even, earlobes are good for self-soothing. You could look like you're adjusting your earrings and you're giving yourself a little ear rub. But let's go ahead and do the activity because I've talked a lot. So if you're watching at home or on the replay, just take a seated position. You can stand and do this too. And if you get confused on the arms, don't worry too much. The main thing is that you are bringing self-soothing to yourself. So you can take an easy inhale and an exhale. Eyes open or eyes closed, whatever feels good for you. And you're going to bring both hands to the side of your head. And I like to put my thumbs towards the back of my head a little bit. You might feel like you're gently lifting up your head, maybe giving yourself a little massage. Just feel what that feels like to have your hands giving you warmth, giving support. And you might even tell yourself, you know what? Thank you, brain. Thank you, head. Thank you, brain, for helping me today. And then right hand on your forehead, left hand on the back of the head. Right hand to the forehead, left hand to the back of the head. You kind of feel like you're cradling your head. Almost like you would hold someone or something precious between your hands. And then right hand to your heart, left hand to the belly. And you can use either hand. Feel your heart, feel your belly. Maybe you can even feel your heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not quite like the graphic, it's optional. See if you want to leave your hand on your heart or your belly, and then just bring the other hand to the back of your head. You can leave your hand on your heart or your belly, and then drop both hands down. So we won't do it today for the show, but you can repeat that as many times as you like. You can do it faster if you want to. You can stop and kind of linger and hold in spots that feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And the main thing again is that you're using your hands, the warmth of your hands, that self-touch to soothe yourself. So especially during this time, I hope you're safely hugging more often, especially your loved ones and yourself. But this is a really good one if you don't have someone around to hug you or soothe yourself. So again, 24 hours a day. You wake up at 2 a.m. and you can't get yourself to sleep, put your hands on yourself somewhere. Thank you, heart, for calming down. Help me get to sleep. You know what, head, let go of all those thoughts that are keeping me from sleeping. You know what, head, brain, shut it down. I'm ready to go to sleep. So again, for quick review, we did smell, texture, sounds, what we see, visual, and then also touch. And the goal again is, remember, your brain takes in a lot of sensory information and then we act on it. Make sure you're taking in what's healthy and take care of your body so that your body can help you. Okay. So any questions? Taking care of the body, self-soothing, so that you can take care of business too.
I liked what you said early on, Jill, when you said, self-care could be 24/7. It could be 24 hours a day. It just, you have to just keep it top of mind and stop every once in a while and do a compassion hold or stop. I read an article the other day about self-care, and they said if you could just stop and do something nice for yourself every so often during the day, just I'm going to stop and rest and purposefully take care of yourself. You could do it. You could do it 24 hours a day, just like Jill said in the beginning. You just have to make it a priority and keep it important.
I agree, Robin. There were so many good suggestions about, and things that we have around the house. The spices, the tea. I have all kinds of teas in my cabinet. The smell, the touch, texture. And I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and she has one of those blankies. I haven't experienced that with any of the other grandchildren or my children. So I was like, this is like a lioness thing. She wants that blanket.
Yeah.
At the most peculiar times.
Yeah, our brains are fascinating that way because she hasn't had the life experience of creating that many memories. But you said at certain times she knows that is something that soothes her and makes her feel okay. And she's probably not super verbal at 2. She can't explain why, but she knows that makes her feel okay.
Well, she's getting pretty verbal. But yes. Yes, as far as expressing that. There's a comment over here. Maureen says, look, she says, always great information. Thank you. Yeah, this is just phenomenal. Well, Jill, we know that we can find you at specific places. So let me add this to the stream. And you want to tell us a little bit about this and what you have coming up?
Sure. And then Maureen also commented that she travels with her blanket and makes her feel. Yeah, I have a favorite travel blanket as well. So.
Wow.
So this weekend what I have coming up is actually a little, it's meant for the same purpose. And so I called it Chill with Jill and Surrendering into Sound. So instead of all the different senses, it will be sound-based. And the idea, this is in person. So if you're, listening across the states or internationally, I'm sorry you're not able to come to this. But the idea is that you're going to come and lay down in a very peaceful room. There's going to be background music. I'll walk you through a brief breath activity. And then I'll be playing sounds like the chimes and different things actually on your body using a bowl to get you just to chill out and relax down and let the brain rest, go back to creativity. The lights will be low, so there's not going to be a lot of lights. There's not going to be a lot of noise. And then the background music that I play is specifically for resting and relaxation. And that will be in Elk Grove, California.
So this is the website, and let me scroll back down. It's Breathing Space, Jill Weston, and I'll put those in the chat. Also, we want to be aware of, let me see what else I'm going to share here. Because it takes, you have to come out and share, a different tab, so it's not really smooth a lot of times. I want people to be aware of the fact that you are on Inside Timer. You want to tell us a little bit about this also?
Yes, Insight Timer is a great app for self-care. So again, the idea that you're already paying for Netflix, you're paying for a gym membership. Insight Timer is a free app, and I believe there's over 10,000 teachers on there besides myself. And the offerings I have are specifically, there's a sleep meditation that's about 15 minutes that is designed to put you to sleep. And then there's also something for anxiety that's probably all of about 2 minutes long. And so again, these are things that are at your fingertips. And then I also do live yoga nidra sessions about twice a month on Insight Timer app. And it's a free app. You can donate if you choose to, but the app itself is free.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking that we need to have you come into the Biz Chick Circle and do something for us as a group. It just occurred to me that would be phenomenal. So we will be talking to you about that soon, Jill. I'm so relaxed. I was like, I'm always, after she leaves, I'm like just having trouble keeping my eyes open because I get so relaxed, Robin.
And I also do, because sometimes people they hire me and they say, but I don't want everybody at work going to sleep, or school session yesterday for parents. So some of it is just the idea of getting into that flow state. You don't necessarily have to be ready to go to sleep, but it's again knowing what's going on in your body. Do you need to activate things and wake up and be creative and get things done, but do it in a as calm and effective way as you can. So with online, like I can recreate the sound workshop online. I can come in and do something for people in 15 minutes, 30 minutes. So if you're not local, don't worry, we can reach out in ways. I have people that do private parties on Zoom, and I just say, what is it that you're wanting? And then when I'm done doing what I do, I actually leave the room. I'm in my little closet. I leave the room, and sometimes they want to visit with each other. Sometimes if it's grief related, they want to debrief with each other. And I leave the room and just leave people on their own. So sometimes I present things and then just let people stay in their little Zoom community, and I step outside of the room. So lots of possibilities if you want a little bit of breathing space.
Okay, you guys heard it. With that, we'll make sure that your information goes into the comments. We also put it up on the screen, so if anybody wants to access your website, they can go to ourbreathingspace.com. Also, if they're trying to find you on Insight Timer, you can go to insighttimer.com/Jill Weston. Okay, and you'll be able to tap into her expertise, her gift, and her talents. We're so proud of you, Jill. It's just, oh, you got some real cheerleaders over here at Biz Chicks. Thank you again. And Robin, I'm going to bring you up and ask you what's happening soon.
I have to say, Terry, your whole demeanor is
I know.
calm.
I'm so chill, aren't I?
So funny.
I am super chill.
It worked.
It works.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so next week, October 14th, we have Lawana Parker, who will be with us and teaching us journaling and how to improve our lives by writing down our thoughts and our feelings.
Okay, this is going to be
And
a
it's,
challenge for me
yeah,
because I'm not a writer, but maybe I can use Otter and have it write while I just speak to it. Okay, but I know there's something that happens when you transfer from the head to the pen to the paper that's
Mhm.
different from typing or from, you know, using audio assistance. Oh my gosh. Well, we were, thank you so much. You always have such great guests. Jill, we are always excited when you come. And we will make sure that people have access to that information. I just want to say that tomorrow is Friday, so we'll be talking tech in words that you can understand. So don't be scared. We'll be breaking it down and talking about social media, what's happening in media with Dr. Tachi. Uh, you're going to just be able to chill on Friday. Come on over, learn how to use some new tools to help you do business better. With that, we want to remind you, go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Bye bye, Robin. Bye bye, Jill. Bye
Bye.
bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Jill. Thank you, Terry.
Mhm.
Thank you for those who are watching.
Yes, and those of you watching on the replay, have a great day. Bye bye.